We are looking at a 1992 Nordic 46 raised Salon pilot house. It's a Robert Perry design. It's a Nordic 44 hull that's been extended by 2 feet here in the back and a swim platform added. And they also raised the freeboard on the boat about 6 inches over a Nordic 44 in order to have a flush deck and a pilot house. So the boat has more freeboard when you go forward than a Nordic 44 does, but excuse me, that gives it a really nice flush deck. So we'll just do a quick walk around of the deck. It's got an Iverson Dodger and a Bimini. The Bimini is detachable and it's got its own cover. It goes back around a stainless steel bar that's at the aft end of the cockpit. We've got high lifelines, and one of the really nice features on this boat is it's got a solid lifeline all the way around the back of the boat. So when you come out of the cockpit in rough conditions, you're not grabbing onto a wire, you're grabbing onto a stainless steel welded section, which is really nice and secure. So stepping aboard, big Harken winches. The main sheet is aft, multi-purchase. It's got a Harken Traveler on it, and it's led to winches that are back here behind the helmsman. Got a nice center helm station with a pod and a very nice view inside the Dodger. Take a walk around the back of the boat. We've got wing lockers with submarine doors. One's a little bit larger than the other. One has some of the heater ducting inside of it. We've got an anchor road cap there for a stern line. We've got GPS antenna, stern light. This PVC tube in the top of the stern gate is for putting a shoreline, which is a floating line that we use here in the Northwest for tying the stern of the boat up to the trees in the shoreline. We've got a NavTech hydraulic backstay adjuster, and I've also got an Edson outboard motor mount with a force-bar motor lift and a life sling and a horseshoe buoy. And again, you can see here the stainless steel rail that's going up the side of the boat there. Lifeline gates, port and starboard. We've got teak in the cockpit. That was added about 8 or 9 years ago. We've got teak in the cockpit sole. Get back under here and out of the glare. We've got a big Ritchie power damp compass, and we've got Raymarine instruments here. Let's see if I can show you what all they are. You've got a depth sounder, knot meter, an E80 chart plotter. That's a color plotter, and it's linked to one that's down below. We've got our wind speed and wind indicator, and here we have an autopilot control. There's a second autopilot control at the inside helm. Underneath the Dodger, we've got a winch to starboard, and we've also got cockpit speakers. These are waterproof and underneath covers. I'll pull that up for you. Stereo speakers. This is a Bose system here. Nice waterproof speakers on both sides. This is the more active side for the halyards, and we've got 2-speed winches. We've got a slow speed and faster speed, and these switches are relatively new. There's a breaker for the electric winch. This is for raising the mainsail halyard, and the breaker is just inside the companionway and to your left. So, pocket in the Dodger. It's an Iverson Dodger. Here we can look back and see sort of glove lockers, winch handle lockers. There's also a winch handle pedestal. We've also got a table that folds up for drink holders. Here's a view back from the cockpit, stainless steel dorades, and we've got a solar vent in the middle of the aft hatch. So, looking down at the swim step, we've got a swim ladder that tips down. We've also got lockers, port and starboard. This is where There are things like buckets and brushes for cleaning the boat, and we happen to have a water cannon in there as well for some fun. Big locker on the port side, the submarine locker. This is a deep locker, and it's got things like deck brushes and such in it. So this is the Vetus non-skid. It does need to be replaced every so often. It's a material that's glued down, and if you'd like, you can replace it completely. There's a new material available from PYI from New Zealand where you can remove this non-skid and you can paint on a textured non-skid that works very well. The Genoa cars have a line control to them, so it's kind of a performance sailing feature. And our deck fills, engine vents. This is an overfill for the fuel tank, and there's also a capture system on that so that you don't ever spill fuel out and overboard. And another solar vent. The boat's very nicely ventilated passively. When the boat's all closed up, there's still air moving through it, and as a result it smells just great. So as we go forward, we have rod rigging. We've got the dorades forward, big European style scoop vents, and up forward they've got dorade guards with them. A couple of boat hooks on the foredeck. This is our propane locker, 2 very large bottles in the propane locker. The windlass and the foot switches are under here, and we've got a large anchor with 2 rollers, and one nice safety feature is there's a pin there for securing the anchor. If you've ever lost an anchor overboard, you'll appreciate why that's there. Our confurling system and high double lifelines, I believe they're 30 inches, higher than normal. Feel very secure when you're offshore. Here's our foredeck. We've often, on passages, open water passages, carried a dinghy upside down on the foredeck, plus kayaks port and starboard. So there's the view looking aft. It's about time for a mainsail cover. I didn't change it in case somebody wanted to change the color. And looking up the mast, we've got the radar, and there's a TV antenna and a Ferdell blipper up at the top. It's a double spreader rig. It's a Spartec rig. The boat is a modest beam, 12.5 feet. It sails beautifully to weather. This, Bob Perry said, the Nordic 44 is one of the best sailing designs he's ever done. We can sure attest to that, with this 46 being the same hull. Window frames are metal. Got a windshield wiper just on the starboard side. And there's a nice tour of the deck for the Nordic 46. The boat has big and beefy hardware. It's got a rigid vang. And she's ready to go sailing. Let us know if we can focus in on any particulars. If there's anything you'd like to get a closer look at, I'd sure be happy to try and zoom in on it. And there's the deck tour, the 1992 Nordic 46 Raised Salon signature yachts. Give us a call, 206-284-9004.